Gray Area talks about sex, relationships, mental health, and more. Our content is intended for a mature audience, and the views and opinions expressed on the show are those of the talent and guests alone and are provided for informational purposes only. We want to talk to you, but this is a TV show, and our hosts are not qualified healthcare professionals. If you're depressed, feel your life is at risk, or need immediate assistance, please seek professional help or dial 911. I'm Sasha Gray, and this is Gray Area. Dumbfounded couldn't be here today, so I'm flying solo. But don't worry, because I can do bad all by myself. Our guest tonight is an actor, writer, and comedian. You know him from NBC's Sunny Side. He's done stand-up on Conan and appeared in Shrill, Search Party, and more. Now he co-hosts the podcast Urgent Care. It's Joel Kim Booster.
Oh, hey, I'm Joel Kim Booster. Let's get crazy.
All they asked me to do was wish them a safe trip back to Florida. Tough for me to do because it's hard for me to wish anyone well who's flying to Florida. That's it. That's what these videos are, really. Goodbye.
What's up, Joel?
It was really tough to watch.
I wanted to ask you our foreplay question of the day. You know, if you're comfortable.
Yes, I'm very excited to answer this question.
How many times a week do you masturbate?
I would say it is a respectable 7, you know, and that's not necessarily averaging 1 a day. Like sometimes you have a free afternoon on a Friday, you know, and you get in a couple. But yeah, I feel bad. Like I grew up in a Toy Story household, so I tend to anthropomorphize everything, and so I feel really bad for my sperm. Oftentimes I come immediately and I say, I'm so sorry, there's no egg for you guys. There will never be an egg.
There will never be.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But you get a pleasure out of it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I do.
So you also recently tweeted, officially announcing I want a PS5. Help!
Okay. This is something that happened. My friend tweeted a very similar thing, and it worked for him. So I was really just trying everything right now.
I feel like a lot of people were, though. But is there a particular game you're looking forward to play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about the new Batman game where there is no Batman, actually. I'm excited, unfortunately, excited for the Harry Potter open world game. I'm excited for the new Spider-Man.
I forgot about the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the trailer a while back.
There's a lot about Harry Potter I'd like to forget, but unfortunately, I can't.
Right,
So.
Especially right now.
Yep.
So how are you coping with burnout right now, though?
I mean, am I? That's the question. I mean, right now I'm just trying to be as easy on myself as possible because, like, you know, I was joking before when I was like, you know, I get off when I see someone who's great and smart who's doing poorly. But I mean, it is sort of comforting to know that you're not the only one. Like, it's really easy right now to sort of get in your head and be like, fuck, I'm the only person, am I allowed to cuss?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank God. Fuck, I'm the only person who is dealing with this right now, and it is like so comforting to know that like the entire world has slowed down a little bit right now in that regard. And so I'm trying to go easy on myself and trying to take some of the pressure off and be like, it will come back. It is like when you're in the gym building muscle, if you lose muscle, your body remembers it and it comes back way faster. It's way easier to rebuild muscle in the gym once you've left. And so I'm hoping that whatever part of my brain that is creative is going to work like that as soon as I get that little vaccination.
I know.
One of those shots.
Oh, waiting for
Moderna,
it.
Pfizer, I don't care. Give me both arms. I don't care.
All right, well, we wanted to talk to someone else who's thought a lot about mental health. Gabby Dunn is a best-selling author and the creator of the Audible original Apocalypse Untreated, about a group of mentally ill teenagers during the apocalypse. It's Gabby Dunn. Gabby, thank you so much for being here. Say hi to Joel.
Hey, Gabby.
Hey, nice to see you again.
Nice
I know
to see
Joel.
Yeah, I saw you guys
go way
both.
back.
Oh, you go way back.
Well, to Big Mouth, and then
yeah.
and then you know, just being queer in LA. So
hey,
it's a
I
small
also
community.
can I bring something up in terms of being queer in LA?
I would love.
Wait, first
You're-
foreplay of the day.
Go on.
How many
Oh,
times
go
a
for
week
it.
do you masturbate?
Not as much as I would like to, or you would hope. I have a partner, and we've been together like pretty much every day of the pandemic. We were apart for 4 months, so if you asked me that 4 months, the beginning of the whole thing up until June, I would have had a very different answer for you. But it's not very exciting, other than just like we are having sex. I try to save it. Is that weird? I
No.
like save it for.
Makes
Under
sense.
normal circumstances, I like to save it for a couple of days too.
So you've imagined the world as an apocalypse, which is odd because we're, some days it kind of feels like we're living through one. And
I know.
in your book, your characters are struggling with mental illness as well. How have the last 10 months for you compared to your book?
Well, I wrote the audio project in like I came up with the idea in 2018. I wrote it in 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was not expecting, obviously, a global pandemic. And also we recorded it. All the voice actors came together. We recorded it in February. So right before all of this happened.
So she sort of made this happen.
Yeah,
in a way.
it's all your
My
fault.
fault.
Yeah.
And the idea came from, I have bipolar disorder. And so the idea came from what would happen in an apocalypse situation where I don't have access to my medication. Like what would happen, I always think like, if the world ends and I break my glasses, what am I gonna do? If the world ends and I don't have access to Lamictal or sertraline or any of the things that I need to function, what would happen to me? And so that's where the idea came from. And I think like also there's a lot of mental health stigma, right?
Mhm.
That like in an apocalypse situation, of course, it would be exacerbated. Of course, you would be suspicious of each other because you're not sure, like now that there's no laws, what does this mean? And so I think it's actually been really interesting to have this come out at this time, because I was not anticipating so many people going through even harder mental health struggles.
Definitely. And
this
Joel,
year.
I know Joel is very outspoken about you've been outspoken about your own struggles
Yeah,
as well.
I'm bipolar as well, and I think like it's funny because like in this sort of apocalyptic situation, I've had to really come to terms with upping the availability of medication and adding stuff, and like it's been really hard because it's like I never needed this before, and my doctors keep having to remind me like this is not like before though, and I think like that's a really hard thing to come to terms with, is with your own mental health, is like just understanding that the situation we're in is unlike anything that we've ever experienced before.
It
And
truly is. And back in July,
Especially if you thrive in routine,
you
and then
thrive
your
in routine.
Yeah, like if you thrive, like if you are able, if like one of the ways that you're like holding it together is your routine, and then you lose your routine.
Oh, 100%. Joel, you recently tweeted, "I miss having sex with people I don't trust."
yeah, that's the biggest problem with the pandemic for me, is that like I miss like getting chlamydia from a guy I felt I needed to hide my wallet from when he came over, Like that is the experience that is like the lifeblood of my comedy in my life. And so I'm really missing that, because now nothing can be super casual, because it has
No.
to be like, when were you last tested for COVID and for STIs? And like, how many, have you been quarantining? Like, what is your vibe, And so it's just like, I miss it being easy breezy.
Yeah.
Just getting on one of my many traps online, Grindr, Scruff, one of those things, and just like pulling somebody up and it being like Postmates, 30
Easy.
minutes and go,
Yeah. So something that you and Gabby have in common is that you're both not monogamous, typically speaking, right? I'm actually a little bit curious, like how exactly, can a polyamorous relationship also be fluid, right? Like, so you have your main partner, but then you bring other people in, or you and your partner are both open?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the type of relationship. Some people prefer relationship anarchy, where they don't have a particular main partner and they're just kind of dating around, and they have or something where there's no hierarchy, where everyone is kind of at the same level. Some people prefer the idea of like a primary or secondary, or like, having a main partner and then people around who are just kind of one-offs. And for me, I've always had like a main partner and then secondaries or people who are in and out, pun intended. And so it's been interesting with the pandemic because my partner and I have always, I mean, they would go do like Grindr hookups and I'd be like, have fun. And I track them on my phone to make sure they're not being murdered.
Oh, okay. So it's something that your partner knows as well.
Yeah.
You're looking out.
You slipped in.
Yeah, you're
while they
looking
were
out for
sleeping,
each
yeah.
other.
Yeah, my partner and I are also non-monogamous, so it's like a fun, like, okay, I have to catch up on a bunch of TV, like I'll just try to make sure that you're not being kidnapped or whatever. But we obviously from the pandemic, we like that all that has stopped, and so like the only thing that's really happening is like digital, like they have some person that they're like texting with, or I have some person that I'm texting with, but like no, we've been like functionally monogamous, but not by choice for this entire time. It is very weird.
Well,
Can I also say too, I feel like people always talk about the rules of non-monogamous relationships and people who, especially who are not non-monogamous, like get really enmeshed in like, oh my God, but there's so many rules and how do you decide and blah, blah, blah. But that is true for monogamous every monogamous relationship has its own set of rules too. It's just, we don't get it like enmeshed. I know people who are like, you can hug, you can kiss, you can do whatever with somebody else. And I know relationships like Mike Pence isn't allowed to be in a room with another woman.
That kills me.
Like it's like there's a whole spectrum of rules on the monogamous side too. It's just about communication.
Well, we love to be educational here. So we wanted to take a different side of Mother Earth, to show a different side of Mother Earth in a game we're playing. Planet Gray Area, all right?
Okay.
So, answer me this. What sexual practice is not found in the animal kingdom? Piss play, cunnilingus, BDSM, or double penetration?
I'm gonna say BDSM, because that's like, everything else is very like physical, like bodily functions. And I think BDSM is a little bit more of a mental game, so.
Definitely. Gabby?
I was gonna say piss play, but now I'm walking it back. But you know what? I think because if they're similarly to what Joel's saying, like if they're peeing on each other, how do we know it's for sexual satisfaction? Maybe they just pee on each other. Maybe they got stung by a jellyfish. You don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, the answer is BDSM. So get this. A male giraffe will drink a female's urine straight from the tap as foreplay. Chinese fruit bats are all about going down on the females. A North Atlantic right whale has observed taking 2 dicks at the same time.
Yes, queen.
All right.
By the way, those whales have 12-foot penises.
Woo.
12 foot.
Slay.
But due to the survival instinct to avoid pain, scientists have not found any examples of BDSM in the animal kingdom. Okay, next question. Which does not happen in nature? Monkeys make sweet love to deer. Female hyenas have a 7-inch clitoris.
Wow.
Banana slugs chew off their partner's penis after sex. Hippos fling shit at each other as foreplay.
I think it's the monkeys and the deer.
I'm gonna say that as well. That's just not natural.
Well, trick question, because they're all true.
What?
Go nature.
No.
Yep.
It makes me uncomfortable. It's
Okay.
the first thing that's been said on this show that's made me a little uncomfortable.
This is the slippery slope that the people against gay marriage were talking about.
It is true.
Oh
Pretty
my
soon,
God.
we're gonna have monkeys with deer, and this is all because we legalized gay marriage.
Oh my God. All right, well, Gabby, thank you so much for joining us for all the wonders of the animal kingdom. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Thank you, Joel, for coming by and being our guest tonight. Lavender business boss Eileen Zhu is joining us Friday for our last episode. It should be a fun one. And make sure to find us at VENN.tv and check out our uncensored version on YouTube. Thanks for watching Gray Area. Peace.